Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Surviving Retirement Podcast. I'm Danny, and I'm here with Peter, as always.
Hi, Danny. Good to be back.
Today, we're talking about something a little different, but just as important. It's about how to start the money conversation with your kids and grandkids. Because whether you're thinking about passing on wealth one day or just helping them get off on the right foot, what you teach them now can have a major impact down the road.
Absolutely. We often talk about building wealth, preserving wealth, but preparing the next generation to handle wealth is just as critical. And that starts with good financial habits, clear communication, and an understanding of the tools available like the FHSA, TFSA, and even the RRSP.
Today's episode is about helping you start those money talks, when to have them, what to focus on, and how to make them meaningful.
We'll cover how to do this at different ages, using real moments like a first job or graduation to talk saving and investing. And we'll finish by showing how this helps pass on not just money, but values too.
All right, Peter, let's talk about starting that money conversation with kids or grandkids. When should it happen, and what should it look like?
The short answer is start early and keep it going. You don't need to sit down for a formal financial lesson. A lot of it can happen in everyday life, explaining how a debit card works or why you chose one grocery brand over another. Those little moments add up over time.
So you're not necessarily waiting until they're in university?
Not at all. There are great opportunities all along the way. That first summer job is a perfect time to talk about income, taxes, and saving. Opening a bank account, starting high school, graduation, even their 18th birthday, when they become eligible for a TFSA and FHSA. And once they're working full-time, that's a natural moment to bring up RRSPs or long-term planning.
And I imagine the goal isn't just to give information, it's to build trust and expectations.
Exactly. When kids grow up in a household where money isn't a taboo topic, they're more likely to ask questions, make better decisions, and avoid surprises down the road. It's not about having one big talk. It's about creating an open, ongoing dialogue as they grow.
What would you say to parents who feel awkward or unsure about how to approach it?
Start small and keep it simple. Focus on what's relevant to their age and make it a conversation, not a lecture. And as they get older, involve them in more of the planning, especially if you're thinking about transferring wealth one day. Having those discussions early can make a big difference.
So once the conversation is underway, how do you help kids develop strong financial habits that actually stick?
It starts with introducing the right concepts at the right time. For younger children under age 10, it's about the basics, giving an allowance, using a piggy bank, talking about what things cost. The goal is to build awareness and start forming a healthy relationship with money.
And once they're in their teens?
That's a great time to build on those early lessons. You can help them open a bank account, teach basic budgeting, and encourage part-time work. Filing a tax return together, even just once, can help make concepts like income and deductions feel more tangible. And if you typically use an accountant, you can still sit down and walk through the notice of assessment together. It's also a good time to explain how RESPs work and how that money supports their education.
What about once they turn 18?
That's when you can introduce more advanced concepts like credit cards and credit scores and how those impact their financial future. You can walk them through opening a TFSA or FHSA and explain how investing works, not just saving, but growing wealth over time.
And by the time they're in their mid-20s?
That's when you can begin discussing broader planning, things like saving for a home, managing career income, and setting short and long-term financial goals. If it fits your family situation, it's also a good time to talk about shared values, future responsibilities, and even legacy planning.
Of course, a lot has changed in terms of the environment young people are growing up in. Social media, influencers, pressure to spend.
Yes, and that's an important piece. Young adults today are exposed to a lot of financial noise, and not all of it is helpful. That's why it's so valuable for parents and grandparents to act as mentors. By sharing how you make decisions, what you prioritize, and even where you've made mistakes, you give the next generation context they won't get online. It's not about control, it's about support and guidance.
All right, Peter, let's shift gears a bit. Once young adults start earning and saving, what are the key financial tools they should be thinking about?
There are three main ones: the FHSA, the TFSA, and the RRSP. And each has a specific purpose that can really support long-term financial security. We actually have dedicated podcast episodes for the TFSA and RRSP if our viewers want to learn more on them. But let's summarize.
Let's start with the FHSA. That's still relatively new, right?
Yes, the First Home Savings Account is designed to help young Canadians save for their first home. It's unique because it combines the best features of the RRSP and the TFSA. You get a tax deduction when you contribute, and if you use the money to buy a qualifying home, the withdrawals are tax-free. It's a strong tool for anyone thinking about home ownership within 15 years since opening the account.
And the TFSA?
The TFSA is incredibly flexible. It allows for tax-free growth, and withdrawals don't count as taxable income, so they don't affect government benefits like OAS or GIS later in life. It's useful for short-term goals, emergency savings, or long-term investing. And because there's no age limit, it fits into almost every stage of life.
And finally, the RSP?
The RRSP is still the cornerstone of retirement planning. Contributions are tax-deductible, which can reduce your taxable income, and the money grows tax-deferred until you withdraw it. And for younger people, it can also be used to support a first home purchase through the Home Buyer's Plan, letting you borrow up to $60,000 from your RRSP and pay it back over time.
So the key is starting early, right?
Exactly. The earlier you start, the more time you give your money to grow through compounding. That's why helping young adults open these accounts, even with modest amounts, can have a big long-term impact.
So what can parents or grandparents do, practically speaking?
A few things. First, help them open the accounts, a TFSA, FHSA, or RSP, and explain the basics of how they work. Second, encourage consistent contributions. Even modest amounts can grow significantly over time. And finally, consider introducing them to a financial advisor. Establishing that relationship early can help build their confidence and support more informed decision-making as they take on greater financial responsibility. Of course, it's entirely possible you may not be familiar with all the details of these accounts yourself, and that's perfectly normal. If you already work with an advisor, consider asking them to help facilitate the conversation. And if you don't, we're here to help. Feel free to leave a comment with your questions or book a complimentary 30-minute consultation using the link in the description. Advisors can also offer clear, objective guidance, helping families understand the purpose behind financial decisions.
So it's not just about the money, it's about setting up the right habits and support early on.
Exactly. It's about giving them the tools and then helping them feel comfortable using them.
So, Peter, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked. Preparing kids not just to manage money, but to understand the values behind it.
That's a crucial point. Transferring wealth is one thing. Transferring values around responsibility, decision-making, even philanthropy, that's what makes it sustainable across generations.
So how do families start that process?
One approach is through regular family meetings. These don't need to be overly formal, just an opportunity to talk about what the family is working toward, what the long-term goals are, and what kind of legacy they hope to leave. It opens the door to conversations about stewardship, and it helps set expectations early.
And I imagine it looks different depending on the age or readiness of the kids.
Of course, you want to match the level of involvement to their skills and interests. For younger family members, it might start with sitting in on a conversation or learning how an account works. For older kids or young adults, it might mean gradually introducing them to aspects of the family finances, or even the business if there is one.
And where do professional advisors fit into this picture?
They play an important role in creating a structure around these conversations. Advisors can help explain complex strategies, provide neutral guidance, and ensure everyone understands the why behind the plan. Having that third-party support also helps reduce family tension, and it reinforces that this is about long-term planning, not just inheritance.
So really it's about engaging the next generation, not just as recipients, but as future stewards.
That's exactly it. The earlier you start, the more confident and prepared they'll be, not just to manage wealth, but to carry forward the purpose behind it.
Sounds great. Before we wrap it up, any final thoughts for today?
I'd say this. As previously mentioned, helping the next generation succeed financially isn't just about passing on money. It's about passing on the mindset and values that come with it. That means starting early, being honest, and creating opportunities for real learning, whether it's opening an account, setting a goal, or just having that first meaningful conversation.
It really comes down to being intentional, doesn't it?
Exactly. These small steps can have a big impact over time, and they help build a lasting foundation that goes beyond just dollars and cents.
If today's episode got you thinking about your own family conversations, or you want support planning that next step, we're here to help.
If you're thinking about how to start these conversations or support your kids and grandkids with the right tools, consider booking a free 30-minute consultation with our team. You'll find the link in the description, or just scan the QR code on your screen. And if you'd like more insights on financial education, legacy planning, and retirement strategies, you can subscribe to our newsletter. You'll also receive a complimentary estate record keeper, a simple way to organize your financial information and help your family down the road.
And if you found this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you haven't seen the previous 2 episodes on RRSP and TFSA, you might want to give them a listen and learn more about these accounts and how to get the most out of them. The respective videos will appear on the screen. You can click on either one.
Thanks for listening. Be kind to yourself and to others, and we'll see you next time.